along that wall. So that's the ancient dock. So you had the ships, traveling, approaching Pompeii, docking, and going to Pompeii to the forum for trading. This was a port trading town.
Training town.
So, and let me show you now the map so we can.
Okay.
We can better understand. By the Romans, this is why we say colony, because the city actually was not a Roman town. It was founded by local populations. We had Italic people here, like Oscans and the Samnites, and this happened BC. It happened like 5th to 2nd century BC, and then 1st century BC, we had the Roman army that conquered everything. They conquered the Mediterranean area, they conquered region Campania, south of Rome. They went they went down Rome and they conquered all the towns, including Pompeii. Now, Pompeii was very appealing. You know why? Because Pompeii was a port. For the Romans, the port was essential because they could control the sea and they could trade. So money and power. This is why. So if we put the map this way, we are right here. We are in the water. So imagine we are swimming now, or we are on a ship.
There was water here before.
There was water here before, but what happened to the water? The water now, the sea is 2 miles away. And this is because of the catastrophe that we had here. Guess what? Something that happened here very bad. Eruption. Yes, because the eruptions. We had many eruptions, right? So, but now today we talk about a particular eruption, the eruption of 79 AD. So first century, yes. So that eruption was really bad. It completely covered Pompeii. Pompeii was buried in a particular way. That was strange. You have like a storm of ash and lapilli, so little stones falling down for 3 days until everything was covered. Gas, sulfur, a very thick cloud of gas and ash. So everything was covered and people died of suffocation. That was the main reason of death. So this is all the town. Is 166 acres. We are here.
We're there.
This is west. We are here, right here, because that's the ancient dock. And you see, we have the streets. These are the streets of Pompeii. These are the main ones. And they are regular. Like today, we have streets and avenues. It's a very popular layout. So we didn't invent anything.
Okay.
So north, south, west, east. And that's the north. And that's the volcano.
That's where the volcano.
The volcano is
the
northward. So every
okay.
time you see the volcano, that's the north.
Okay.
So you see these colors of Pompeii? This is the mapping done by the archaeologists because they have excavated the town and they have divided the town in 9 districts, each district in blocks. And now the city is not completely excavated, yes? They started first time 1748. That means that the city was covered, was lost for 1700 years. No evidence of Pompeii anymore, no location because the sea was away. How could they know? Who was on top of this? The farmers. We had farmlands, we had very rich soil, right? So pomegranate like this.
Pomegranate.
Then we had wine trees, like olive trees, vineyards, beautiful orchards. And the diggers, they were the first diggers, but they were looking for something else, and then they found an ancient buildings. So at one point we had the King of Naples, Charles III of Bourbon, who started officially the excavations, and that was only 300 years ago. And so far they have excavated about 75% of the town, and this is what is left. Those flat parts of Pompeii, and those parts are more the suburb. Still below the ashes. Now we do this tour today. We start from the sea gate, the marina gate. We go inside, we see the forum, and we do more or less this loop, like a loop. And then we finish in the square down there.
Okay.
And near the train station if you want to go back, or you have a choice. If we look at the buildings, now I explain you now so then we can go inside. If you look at the building, do you see something familiar on the map? Tell the kids. Look very well. Something that you recognize, like a famous particular building, maybe for a particular show. Maybe it's at the suburb.
I see something that looks almost like the Colosseum.
Yeah.
It looks like the Colosseum.
Yeah, that's an amphitheater.
Yeah, amphitheater.
The amphitheater is typical Roman building. So wherever you go along the Roman Empire, you find an amphitheater. We have 300 amphitheater, more or less. Not just the Colosseum. There is a Colosseum everywhere. But Colosseum is a nickname, right? The real name is Flavian Amphitheater, the one in Rome. And this is just amphitheater. So it's an oval building so that you can watch the show from all around. This is why amphitheater. And another thing is typical to build the amphitheater, the stadium, at the suburb of the town.
Okay.
For strategic reasons, for safety. You know, imagine 20,000 hooligans. And they were very loud people and very, you know, they could mess up everything.
Okay.
So you wouldn't block the middle of the town. So you built at the very suburb. What do you have all around normally in ancient towns, right? You know what we get? We need to build something.
Walls.
Walls,
Yep.
city
Yep.
walls.
Yep.
And how do you get in? Do you climb?
The marina.
The marina, yes. We have the marina gate, yes, but we have other 6 gates. So we have gates in line with the main roads. So for safety, right? And so now we can get inside and we can enjoy this nice walk.
Yep.
We can see the streets. We can see the buildings, a little bit of everything. They got it all. They got private buildings, public buildings, religious buildings, entertainment, everything.
Wow.
Nothing has changed. Actually, we didn't invent it.
We didn't find anything.
We had now the blossom of a pomegranate, and they become big fruits like this. That we love them. We love those fruits.
Oh, we need a ticket here, huh?
Now we need to stand on the stop a little bit, Kyle.
Kyle, come over here.
Look at the ancient dog.
Over here.
And this is still buried, partially buried.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So the sea level was there.
Sea level was there.
And of course, we don't have the ocean, we have the sea.
The sea.
The Mediterranean Sea is an enclosed sea.
Uh-huh.
So you don't really have this big difference in tide. I don't really see it. So more or less the water level was there all the time. You know, it didn't go, far away or, like the tide that you have. We do have the tide, of course, because it's a moon phenomenon, but you didn't see the difference so much because the Mediterranean is not an open ocean. And that's geography, and right? I guess, I'm sure
They learn a little bit in school.
I'm sure they are perfect students because I see them. I know that they know everything about Pompeii, and they're shy. They don't tell me.
They did study.
They did study a little bit. That's why we're here.
Yes, it's they don't say anything.
Yeah.
But you ask all the question, okay?
Ask questions.
Yeah, if you want, you ask me anything, okay? Okay, now we do this little bit of steep road. This is an original road. Roads are like this, right? They are covered in slabs. Those slabs are basalt. It's a volcanic stone. And now I know that the kids like science. They like stones. They like volcanoes. By the way, we can stop here for the second.
Okay.
Do you see the volcano somewhere?
Oh, is it?
Kyle, do
You see the volcano? I think I see it.
There, yeah, it's behind the
behind the clouds.
Behind the clouds, right?
Yeah.
So that's the Vesuvius.
Vesuvius.
Vesuvius is an active volcano, still active. It's not dead. And what is he doing now, Kenneth? If he's not erupting, what is he doing?
It's probably providing fertilization for plants.
Yes, also that. But it's just a simple, question. When he doesn't erupt, he's dormant. Yes, he's sleeping. In other words. And I have to tell you that I live right there. Not at the very top, but I live half away.
Oh, really?
And I'm very happy that he's sleeping.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing.
So, we can use, if that's too steep for you, you can use the handrail.
Oh, I think we're good.
Climb. This is the only climb we do today, I
I'll let
promise.
you those up front. You guys go in front
It's
of
not
me.
really slippery because now it's dry.
Oh, yeah.
But this is real volcanic stone, and this is the original streets.
Ah,
Streets from the Latin word strata.
Strata.
Strata means layers.
layers. Ah,
Different layers of material, and this was the last, the top layer. And the gate, we have two. We have the small one for pedestrian,
oh,
and
okay.
the one in the middle was for merchandise, for the carts. You see the gaps
Yeah.
for the wheels, and you have the
Oh, this
hinges
for the
on
wheels.
the door. Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay.
We walk through the walls. The walls are very thick. Look how thick.
Oh,
we are
yeah.
inside. Okay. So imagine with the cart and the donkey,
Oh,
the
gosh.
mules. They were so. It was.
It's a good exercise.
It was a job. Yeah. And we are reaching already the. The public area of the town, yeah? Because we are very close to the forum. And now we enjoy the street, and we are already inside here, officially inside Pompeii. After the gate. Now I have to tell you that back then, of course, you wouldn't walk in the middle of the streets. You would walk on the sidewalks, of course, right? Because streets were not safe, they were busy with carts. And they were wet, always wet. You know why? This is something from this morning. The rain.
The rain,
There is
yep.
no draining system.
No draining system, it just
No
flows
draining
down.
system. Yeah, very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard ground. This is why. Let's jump on the sidewalk
Okay.
here now.
Okay.
Oh,
A little bit mud.
and we can stop a little bit to rest.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So no draining, unfortunately, because when the Romans conquered, when they arrived, 89 BC, they built the aqueduct. Not soon, but with the Emperor Augustus. We had a big aqueduct inland, and then the connection to the coast, to the Roman fleet, and to the cities like Pompei. Now, they built the aqueduct, so below the sidewalks, we have all over Pompei the plumbing system. But unfortunately, they couldn't build the sewer along. The sewer system normally goes below the main road.
Yeah.
The plumbing here and the sewer there. No sewer because the ground is very hard. So what happens? For the buildings, you have the downpipes with the septic tanks. And that was for flushing the bad stuff, that was for the dark water. And then streets were always wet anyway, all the time. You know why? Because we have public fountains in Pompeii. And these fountains were, they were draining water all day. And the draining hole was, just onto the street. No sewer system. I show you. This is why we have the streets always wet. First thing I show you here, the sidewalk. We have something, just like today. We have, is that a house you think or something else? What do you think?
I think it
That
was a
doesn't
living
really-
space,
It
maybe.
looks like, you have a gate onto
gate.
the sidewalk, very wide, with a counter, some containers. Yeah, like
Maybe
a
like a
shop.
kitchen.
Yes, like a shop.
Like a shop?
Actually, you said like a kitchen because we have those containers. Those containers are big jars inside in the counter. It's a hot food. It's a special shop. It's a street food restaurant.
Oh, this was a
And
restaurant.
the food was always hot because those containers, clay containers, terracotta, they keep the heat because it's insulating. Do you have the thermos container at home? Like a thermos, like
Yeah,
this
like a
one?
thermos, yeah.
Thermos, that's out
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah, you have it. So
Yep.
what happens if I put something hot in there rather than cold?
It stays hot.
It stays hot.
Yeah.
Same thing if you put something cold.
Yeah.
Same thing with clay. Clay is porous, insulating.
Very
you
insulated.
put something cool, it stays cool. You put something hot, it stays hot for a long time. And they knew about this. So they sold lunch here, lunch for people, and we have many. Now, you see, I take you now on the left for the minute. So I want to show you a public fountain. I show you the best fountain of Pompeii. We found 42 fountains so far. Okay. Now I cross the street. Imagine that the streets were wet. I do like this. I use this stepping stone. The zebra crossing.
And that's what it's
So
for.
you have the gaps at the side for the wheels. The cars, the two donkeys pulling the cart with the wheels. And you go to the other side and I show you now the fountain, the typical fountain. it's got the draining hole open
Ah.
onto the street. This is why the water coming out from this hole, draining all the time. And the rest goes on the street to wash the streets. So this is why we have a particular zebra crossing in Pompeii. This fountain is beautiful, I think. It's in travertine marble, travertino. And what's that? It's got a crest. What's that? Yeah.
It looks like a rooster.
Like a rooster, yeah. That's the fountain of the rooster. Because they had like landmarks. The fountain was also a landmark. Where do you live? I live right by the fountain of the rooster.
Okay.
They didn't have street names and didn't have house numbers back then. All those signs that you see is the mapping done by the archaeologists. So Regio 7, Insula 7 means District 7, Block 7. That's it. And that's Block 15. And I'm sure they're very good at Roman numerals. So I don't need to explain.
They explain Roman numerals.
Yeah. So, but we have a public service with this. This is something for the population of Pompeii. Free drinking water from the aqueduct all day. You could come here anytime, fetch water, fill in the container, drink like this. You know, this is worn out because people rub it
They drink from
like
right
this.
there.
Yes, with the hand. And those links of lead to fix the fountain because they had many earthquakes in this place, so they didn't want to waste this beautiful fountain.
Yeah.
And this fountain was, you know, you had someone who paid for this. It was a public service, but the fountain itself was not a public service. I mean, you had someone private to pay for this. You have a sponsor. With his own money, he paid for the marble because other fountains are not in marble; they're in stone. So now we understood the system, yeah, why the streets are so particular. I think we can go to see the forum now. We go back, and we can go back to the same sidewalk so that you can cross the road next time. Roads were busy with carts. And we have a standard cart, a standard shape and a standard size of a cart. So we talk about a local cab. You wouldn't go around Pompeii with just any other cart. Let's say you came from, here you came by sea, but let's say you came from the north or from the south, from Stabia or from Herculaneum with your own cart. You needed to leave it outside and rent a local one. So they had stables.
Okay.
Like today we have car rental, same thing, rent a car. That was profit because your cart wouldn't go through. It had a different shape. It was out of shape. Now you can try from here to cross the road using the stepping stone.
Go ahead, Kyle.
And now we finally have a nice sidewalk. This sidewalk looks much better. Very well maintained. You have a shop. And then here you have the entrance of a house.
So this was a house.
It's the entrance. The entrance of a house is different. You see, it's got a different threshold. And that's the entrance of a shop. So for the shop, you have a wide, long threshold with a groove in the middle, and that groove was for wooden sliding panels. Here you had two hinges with double door like this. Now, the sidewalk is nicely decorated, and the sidewalk was your private property. I mean, he was the owner of the sidewalk, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't walk by. All the people were allowed, you know, but that means that you were responsible. You were responsible for cleaning and for maintenance, because remember what we have below? Remember?
It's just thick rock.
Yeah, but below again the sidewalk. Yeah.
There's
they built.
aqueduct.
Yeah, the aqueduct. Yeah, the plumbing system. Very delicate. So they needed to preserve the sidewalk. And I show you now the property line. So this shop belongs to him, and we know because we have always the same decoration all the way up to the property line. So that's the end of his property, and we start another one. And was that again?
Was it?
Is that again a house? It's a new property belonging to someone else, but a shop or a house?
Shop. This was like a shop.
It's a shop, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a shop because we always have to look because
Yeah.
we're gonna see this all through the tour. You're gonna see sidewalks with shops and houses, shops and houses, shops and houses. So you will be an expert at the end. So that's a
Okay,
shop.
it's a shop. Shop versus a house. Okay.
Yeah.
So this must be another shop.
Now, just look inside. It's typical entrance of a house. Sorry. Oh, bello. And look how beautiful, you know, we are missing the roof. We don't have the original roofs here in Pompeii because they all collapsed because of the weight of the ashes. I didn't tell you that was 7 meters, like 21 feet of ash to cover Pompeii. So imagine that all the weight of the material, you know, made everything dropping.
Hold on.
Seaway, we call this the seaway. Those chips of marble, very important. It's not decoration.
Not
They
that
are,
little chips.
yeah, little chips that to glow in the dark,
Oh, really?
in the moonlight.
Oh, so you can
they
see.
help you, yeah, so you can see.
I guess, yeah.
Especially very early in the morning when people, you know, they came from the port with a big load of fish and things to sell, right? They wanted to go to the forum, to the gross market, and you needed the light because that was very early. You set the market in the morning, so or in the evening. What happened in the evening here? We had religious processions because we have 3 temples. There, we used to have the Temple of Venus, right there, the Temple of Apollo, and in the forum, the Temple of Zeus. So just like today, the procession along the churches.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Very good.
If you look back, you can see the sea. You see down there?
Oh, yeah.
The day is quite clear today, so you can see. Now let's go to visit the first public building, the most important public building, the Basilica. The Basilica is not a church.
Okay.
Look at this nice door.
Watch out for the mud.
Today's a sunny day.
Oh,
Okay, now I show you a recreation. This building was really imposing, and this is the most important public building in H-Town, near the Forum. The Basilica was the government office, like the law and order building. The courtroom, and I explain you why. They call it the courtroom, the courthouse, because the judge and the ruler were the same person. This was the ancient look of the Basilica. So it was a huge rectangular room with 2 stories, with a flat roof like this, and then with columns, huge columns, aisles, and 5 gates in line with the aisles. And then you have a raised platform there, like that area was up above, and that was the tribunal, the area for the ruler or the judge. Now, you notice that it has got the same shape of the Basilica, for example, of St. Peter.
Yeah.
Same thing, and also the same name. Now, Basilica means a house of the king. The Basileus is the king, the ruler in the past. So the early Christian churches, they got the same shape and the same name because they didn't have a style yet. So they copied the ancient building shape. This is why Basilica of St. Peter just got the name from ancient building. But this has nothing to do with religion. We have religious building. We have temples in Pompeii. I can show you this. We have some fake columns.
fake columns.
Now, the Romans were very good engineering. They were conquerors, but they were very practical. Now, the Greek, they were, you know, they looked more at, you know, they were really educated. They were, you know, the Greek culture was very strong. They impacted all the Mediterranean. And they copied the Greek style, but they couldn't afford real marble to do this. This is not real marble because marble is expensive. It is and it was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have marble caves in the area, so they needed to import it. What happens? You couldn't import all these huge columns. You could sink a ship. That's stupid and expensive. It's a risk, right?
Yeah.
So what they did, they made like the inside of bricks, and they covered. If you look back, they covered in.
Oh, yeah. So just cover it. All right.
And this was the building for the administration of law, for the contracts, for the deeds, you know, to get information about the local rules and local laws if you had to go trading. You know, this was a town where lots of people from other places, you know, from other countries, international place. So you need a building like this. And now this is a public building. Now I can take you to see. We can go this way. Light, the god of poetry and the god of music. Light was very important, was essential. Light was everything. So the god of the sun. And he was opponent of Zeus, the main god of the Olympus, because they were most very important and they had lots of followers. So Roman religion was like Greek. They had lots of gods. A god for each area of life. But they just changed the names. For example, Zeus became Jupiter, Aphrodite became Venus, and so on. But they were the same gods. They also worshipped the emperor, because the emperor was considered divine, and they worshipped the domestic gods, like the spirit of the ancestors. Now, here you have the typical shape is, you know, you have a cell inside with the statue of the god, and all around you have a colonnade, the gable with the roof, decoration, columns, and a porch all around. We call it porticus. You see, it's a colonnade with a roof, so that you could walk all around. This was the space for the believers, if they had ceremonies. But the sacrifice was made by the priests. We had a special priesthood for each god. The altar ahead, you see, in marble, to sacrifice animals.
Oh, wow.
And only the high priest could go in there, up in the cell. So in the cell you have the statue of the god. But here we have something else I want to show you the kids.
Okay.
How did they check the time? You know, let's say now it's 10 o'clock.
Probably use the
Is
sun.
it?
Sundial.
The
Sundial.
sundial. Do you want to see a sundial?
Yeah.
I'll show you here. Sundials they were placed in open space. They were placed in gardens, in public buildings, in open space. Because they only work with the sun. And they only work at daytime, not at night, because they work with the shadow of the nomone. You see there, if you look at this column, on top of the column you have a stone.
Oh, yeah.
The stone is half a circle and it's got 12 lines. Each line is an hour. So 12 hours. They started the day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Sunrise to sunset. Now we are AM because, you know, the vertical line that you see, it's noon. And now it's 10 o'clock. And what is pointing the hour? What is pointing the hour? The long black thing. What's that?
Shadow.
It's a shadow.
yeah.
If you move along a little bit, you can see that there is a pin leading
Yeah.
out.
They have a pin sticking out.
Yes, and the shadow of the pin goes right on the perfect hour, the exact hour, and it works perfectly because now it's 10, and you can see that that's called the. Okay, let's call it the 6th hour is noon, so this is the 4th hour.
Yeah.
The 4th hour is 10 o'clock in the morning. The 6th hour is 12 o'clock, so noon. And the 9th hour is 3 and the 12th hour is 6. Of course, in the summer, hours are longer and the shadow goes slowly. In the winter, it goes faster. It's all conventional.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty
sunrise
cool.
to sunset. And the eruption hit at lunchtime. When the mountain, when the Vesuvius exploded, that was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it was the 7th hour. The eruption was, they had warning signs, let's say, they had tremors. But because they were used to tremors, they were used to earthquakes, probably many people underestimated this danger. They didn't expect that all these earthquakes came from the mountain. And when the Vesuvius erupted, it was too late probably because in a short time we had this cloud of ash flowing, coming in this direction because of strong wind. And now we know everything about this eruption of 79 because we had a survivor. This survivor was not here in Pompeii. The survivor was far away. He was north of Naples. He was a young boy, only 18 years old. His name was Pliny. We say Pliny the Younger because he was there with his uncle, Pliny the Elder, the commander of the fleet. So Pliny watched everything and recorded because he wrote a letter. So we know all the description. And he described that his uncle wanted to rescue these people because he had the fleet at disposal. He set off for the bay, but then he couldn't dock anywhere because the sea was too rough. And then they all died. Pliny the Younger survived because he escaped, but his uncle died here in the Bay of Naples. How many people lived here? 13,000 people at the time of the eruption, but we don't know how many people survived and if they survived. We don't really know because we don't have records. The letter of Pliny that we have, actually a copy, the letter of Pliny is because someone asked him to write the biography of his uncle. So that was a case by chance that we know this. But this is the only recorded eruption, the first recorded eruption. You know that we had 50 more in the last 2,000 years. The last one, guess when?
You know when?
I have no idea.
We were not there anyway.
Yeah.
We weren't born yet.
Yeah.
So it was 1944, during World War II. So they say, according to the statistic, that now this is overdue because it should be once every 40 years. But thank God we have an observatory, so they monitor the tremors. And I hope so, because I live there.
You live there, yeah.
So the two statues that you see, this lady and that guy, brother and sister, Diana, goddess of hunt, and she's also the goddess of night. And she's placed here west, sunset. That guy is Apollo, god of light, god of poetry, and he's east, sunrise. He's the god of light. And now we can go inside the forum and see the forum. Okay? How do you like Pompeii so far?
Pretty good.
Good.
You enjoying it? Okay, I'm happy.
Yeah. Hold on.
You want me to take some picture of very thick cloud, no oxygen, no light. Sidewalks. The sidewalks are typically covered in a waterproof material, cocciopesco. It's a technique, it's a Roman technique to insulate, to protect from the chips of marble for the light, and cocciopesco. Mind your feet. This huge space is the forum, 120 meters per 40 meters. So it's a big rectangular.
Yeah.
Let me show you the recreation. This place was completely covered in marble. This was the place where everything happened. The forum is the heart of the city, the business center, the political center, the devotion center, the gross market, the meeting place, everything happened here. And you have the most important buildings all around. You have the basilica, you have the temples, you have the city hall and the city council at the back. Then moreover, you have the election room, the world market, the shrine for the emperor, and then at top corner, north corner, you have the macellum, and the macellum is the fish market and meat market. So because it spoils very easily, it's placed at north. So it's got there is a reason for orientation. Opposite corner we have the wheat market, and now we go and see the wheat market because there's something you should see. You don't leave Pompeii without seeing that.
Okay.
Let's look at the recreation. You see the floor was in marble, columns, 2 stories, everything marble. Marble was expensive, so this was the business part of Pompeii. It was to show off, that this was a wealthy town to do deal, to do business. And now we want to see something in particular in the forum. We want to walk that way. Sorry, the Temple of Jupiter. At the back you have the Temple of Jupiter. That way, you see, you only see the columns and the steps, but you can see the head of Jupiter inside.
Ah, let's go.
Now we are approaching, so you can see them. He was the main god, so the boss. These platforms that you see, this one in particular, this was the speaker's corner. The politicians, the candidates, they would give their speech there. So we had the local government here in 79 AD. We had the empire, okay, but here in Pompeii we had a local government. We had two rulers and we had a council of people. So we have elections, election campaign and elections. But what happened in Rome? In Rome, of course, they had the emperor. But the emperor was in Rome, and the emperor in charge during, at the time of the eruption, the emperor in charge was Titus. Titus was Vespasian's son and Domitian's brother. The Flavian dynasty. The Flavian dynasty was a particular dynasty of emperors because they were really, they were warriors. They destroyed the Temple of Jerusalem. We know that they brought many slaves, and they built the Colosseum. Colosseum was a nickname. Colosseum because there was a statue, a colossal statue of Nero, and so ad Colosseum. So it was a phrase. So it means near the statue. But the real name is the Flavian Amphitheater, and that's the largest amphitheater we have. 50,000 people at least.
Oh, wow.
The one of Pompeii, in Pompeii, 20,000 people. But we're going to talk about gladiators later. We go and see the wheat market.
Oh, okay.
In the wheat market, now we have a sort of museum. So we have something like 8,000 artifacts. We have many, so if you want some,
Okay.
you can place them. We have so many things. Pompeii was a frozen in time town.
Yeah.
So it's like taking a picture.
Yeah.
When they excavated the town, they found everything. People, furniture, statues, pottery, money, jewelry, everything. How many people lived in Pompeii at the time of the eruption? We said, I don't know if we said, but
13,000.
13,000.
Yeah.
But when they excavated the town, they only found 10% of the population. About 1,200 people. 1,200 people. And they were mainly along the walls, near the gates, right? Or stuck in the houses. So some people were trying to get
escape,
out.
yep.
Some other people were locked inside because of the gas. Very sad. Now we're going to see in the granaries, in the wheat market, we're going to see some of the bodies.
Oh.
We can go through the easy. Oh, we take the chance there's no one there, so you can enjoy better. Otherwise, big groups come.
Big groups come. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to beat the groups.
Just used by pedestrians walking back and forth.
Oh, wow.
Granai means the
Granai.
granaries, the forum granaries, the public granaries. You came here to buy wheat. You couldn't buy flour. You had to buy wheat and grind your own flour. So this is why we found lots of hand mills in the houses and lots of bakeries. Look at this body. He was found in the baths. He apparently, he fell asleep with the gas and then he died. We said that main reason of death was choking, suffocation. And now we have a look at those bodies and I explain you. This was the body of a slave and he's almost naked. You see, he's got a belt around his waist and a very short outfit, like a very tight outfit. A mini dress, simple outfit for slaves. Pets. We even have the plaster casts of a dog.
Oh.
So those bodies are plaster casts. are the shapes of the bodies left in the ash, the print left inside. You got the skeleton inside and the outline outside. So they poured liquid plaster. Bronze heaters,
Uh-huh.
you see,
Looks like there's coins in there.
so people
Oh,
throw
they throw coins.
coins, hoping to come back. I don't know. This one, what was he doing? The last move he was doing before he died.
Praying?
Yeah, praying or crying or just covering eyes and mouth. Was desperate. It seems like he's covering eyes and mouth with a cloak and he's wearing boots.
Yeah.
He was a rider. He was found near a horse. So they also found the skeleton of a horse.
Cool. Get over there. Let's go.
Next, we have a small child.
Oh, yeah.
He was younger than 4 years old. We know because inside the plaster cast we have the skeleton and the teeth. So scanning the teeth, he doesn't have the back teeth. So that means that he's younger than 4, a toddler. Now we're finished with the cast, right? I just wanted to draw your attention on those amphoras, and then we can tell something more about the technique of the cast. Those vases, those particular containers that you saw, you know, the amphoras, those long ones with the pointed end, they have this funny shape, you know, they don't stand up.
Oh, yeah.
So what was the purpose for this shape? They were designed for the shipping. So because they would go in the hold of a ship. Because
Oh.
they have this long shape, they could be stuck in the hold in the sand, so you can put them in other direction. So in all the port towns, you see those kind of containers. They clay containers and they're very thick. So wine shipping, olive oil, sometimes milk, but milk is very delicate. But you know they had, you know those were containers also for water and liquid. Sometimes for other solid material, but very practical for the shipping. The other thing I wanted to tell you is the technique about the plaster cast. They found many skeletons, of course, and around the skeletons they noticed gaps, like the outline with a space in between. So there was a space between the ash and the skeleton because the human body, buried after a few years, decomposes. And it leaves an empty space. So the archaeologists in the 1800s, they wanted to experiment this technique. They would knock because they didn't have the ultrasound or the technique like we have today. So digging and knocking. If they heard a hollow, that means that's empty. There is a gap. There is an
Yeah.
empty space.
Yeah.
You make a hole and you pour liquid plaster. You wait a couple of days, maybe, until it dries up very.
see the shape.
And you get the shape. But from the shape, you can see everything. You can see gender, social status, more or less the age, the position, how they died, in which position they died. You can see all this. Sometimes you see the expression of the faces, the social status from the outfit. And you know, also the sides, they were small people. They were not very tall. So 5 feet 2 inches, that was the average size. And this is the forum. And now I think we can go downtown. We go back to the forum. So you can take more pictures of the forum.
Okay.
Look at the steps.
Oh, yeah.
Steps are worn out. Columns in stone, they were painted, covered in plaster and painted in white. To look like this,
like
right?
a real-
Like marble.
Like marble.
Bricks. Bricks are very common. Bricks are very strong. You have to cook the bricks. So you can make bricks everywhere. Now they have built the empire with this. Everywhere they were, they built aqueduct, they built towns, everything with the bricks. If you don't have caves, if you don't have marble, if you don't have stone, you cook the bricks, and they're very strong. You need fire, wood, clay. And this was really the heart of the town. Now we cross, and we go back to the main road. Remember on the map we saw those long roads running from west to east? That was the main Decumanus. It's 1 kilometer long, splitting Pompeii in two. And now we go eastwards. We want to have a look at the main road. What's on the main road again? Houses, buildings, shops.
Shops, yeah.
The statue of the centaur that you see?
Yeah, I see it. Centaur.
This is not from Pompeii actually. This is a contemporary art. It's an artist called, Igor Mitorai. He died a few years ago, but we had an exhibition about him. So this is here for good now. And you know that bronze statues were very common, especially on the horseback statues. But we don't have many bronze statues from the past. You know why? Because they left us marble statues, but they didn't leave us bronze statues for a reason. What happens with bronze? Very useful, right? So they reused the bronze of the statues to make something else. Weapons, casserole, cooking pan.
Cooking pans. Yeah.
So it was recycled,
Okay.
reused. And look at the head inside
Yeah.
the horse. That's the signature of the artist.
Oh.
Igor Mitorai has another statue at the end, down there. Daedalus. So I hope we see it when we finish the tour. Because it's very big, dominating the plaza, the piazza. Now we leave the public area and we leave the pedestrian area because this was only for pedestrian. Now we start the real road. I think we can go this way, it's better. Look at the roadblocks.
Oh yeah. Roadblocks.
To stop there, to tell, leave everything here.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
The election room.
Election room.
The election room, right near the forum. You had people here casting their votes. Who could vote back then? Everyone? No, just a side of society.
All the wealthy?
Actually, the free citizens. Also, only the free citizens could vote.
Okay.
Only free citizens.
Also,
vote.
the freedmen, the former slaves. Once that they were free citizens, so they could vote. They could buy property. They could start a business. They could get married. Freedmen they were a particular part of society. They were in the first century, especially. They were the nouveau riche, the nouveau riches, the gut rich, because they knew how to make money. And we have examples of many freedmen here in Pompeii, especially a family called the Vetti family. They got so rich with wine trading, and they had beautiful home, and they even, they lent money to other people, maybe to the politicians.
Oh yeah.
This was the house of a political exponent, probably. We don't know the name. We know that this one lives very close to the forum, and we have a conventional name for this house. We say the House of the Boar, because we have the mosaic
Oh yeah.
with the hunt scene, it's hunting.
Oh yeah.
And this is the typical shape of a house, right? The domus, the wealthy home, the vestibulum, the atrium, the impluvium, the pool, and then you have the office and the garden at the back.
That's cool.
I hope to show you this example for real, inside. So we managed to see this kind of home. Again, the sidewalk again, you know, you have two property lines, the green line here and the end of the sidewalk with the same decoration. And this guy has two side shops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same owner. He owns the two shops. And that's good because he could increase his profit. Here we have another property with a staircase going upstairs. This is the side entrance of the wool market. The wool market was also the corporation building for the wool traders, and this is a very big building. And now, as we stop here near the fountain, you can take a nice picture of the fountain. We have the side entrance, and with the description about Eumakia. Eumakia was a woman, a wealthy woman. She was a sponsor. She paid with her own money for this building, and then she was honored for this. The fountain of abundance. This lady is the goddess of abundance. Remember that the water came out from the mouth? That part, those grooves over there for the hand.
Yep.
The hole, the draining. And she's holding an ice cream? No.
I don't know what she's holding.
She's holding a cornucopia, the horn of plenty. It's a symbol of abundance. So Pompeii was a wealthy town.
Very cool.
Again, the Portuguese the decoration. Look at this property. You have the end of the sidewalk and you have all the property down there. It was a huge property, very wealthy. Shops and houses, shops and houses. And question. You can't hear. I have a question for.
Okay. With the kids.
This is the entrance of a house. Look at the puppies.
Okay.
Where?
Inside there.
Okay.
We have more puppies. No, I can tell you, but you were recording.
Okay.
You were recording, so I couldn't.
Okay. That's no problem.
See, we were on a hill, up the hill. We're going down now. It's a downtown. What we said? Going back to the elections, we want to talk a little bit more about the rules about elections, right? Who could vote? We said all the Roman, all the free citizens. Could vote.
Free citizens, yeah.
The free citizens, they could vote. But who could be voted? Who could be a candidate?
Probably the wealthy.
Yes, the wealthy, that's the right answer. Not just the free citizen, the born free, the very influent people, but you needed to be wealthy if you wanted to run for an office, because we have sponsorship in the past. So we have something called patronage. Yeah? So you need to be wealthy because you needed to accomplish everything you promised with your own money, not just the election campaign. And now we want to show you the inside of a poor home, because we saw from the outside a wealthy house. Now we see this kind of stuff. Okay, the shop. We all agree that this is a store, right?
Yep.
We have the groove
The
here
groove
because
here.
they had those sliding panels to be removed in the morning. Put it here, and then you place them back at night.
Yeah.
Then you have those hinges because you have blocks to block the door.
Oh, yeah.
The owner of the shop locks in, and then where does he live? In the back of the shop.
Probably lives in the back.
Upstairs.
Ah.
Now here, this is very common to have holes, of course. You can see many holes in the wall.
Yeah.
It's not very evident here, but when you see all those square holes, wooden beams, that's a space for wooden beams to support the second floor. And we know that this is an evidence of a second floor and the people lived upstairs. This was the typical house and shop. We have another detail, not very spiritual, but I have to show you. We have lots of downpipes. If you look at this, look at the clay downpipe
Yeah.
inside the wall.
Can I go
That
in?
was the toilet from upstairs.
You go in.
Going down, all the way down to a septic tank. And the septic tank, you wouldn't see anything because that was underneath. Of course, you had somewhere you
actually
had
had
like
pipes.
a manhole. You needed to empty the tank.
Ah.
How did you do? You called the septic company, just like today we do.
Wow.
We even know the price for this service. We found an inscription in Herculaneum in a house where they wrote the price of the honey dipper, the honey dipping. It was the equivalent today of €40, $40 more or less.
Wow.
It depended also on the size of the tank. You could tell from the smell, that
The smell.
it was time to empty. We have the septic system on the Vesuvius because we don't have the connection to the sewer system. We are on the mountain.
Yeah.
And that happens, and they were very practical. So here they have the septic tanks, but they also have the plumbing system.
Wow. Yeah.
There was only one sewer that was in the forum, from the public toilets, the public bathrooms in the forum, going back to the straight to the sea, because they were very close to the sea. But that was the public bathroom, so you needed a connection to the sea.
Yeah.
No pollution, because that was just food for fish.
Oh gosh.
No plastic,
Wow.
nothing. You have the inside of another house, you see?
Yeah.
They did a shrine for the divinity. The god of business was Mercury, to protect the business. And the back of the house, the downpipe there in the corner.
Yeah.
Now I guess you know.
Looks like a home.
Home.
Okay.
Is that a pool?
Yes. Therefore, we see this because now I want to take you inside the home to visit a proper home. A domus, we say.
Shops. That is. You actually had like a system in place. That's pretty cool. Can you imagine living like this?
Oh, that's all you had, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the draining. There is some grass, but that's the draining. So what we see now, we go and we go to visit the baths, the public baths.
Wow. Big crowd over there.
That's I couldn't say loud.
Okay. Okay.
It's a long line anyway, but if at the end of the tour, if you wish, you can.
Head over there. Okay. Okay. Kind of interested now.
Another house there, another shop. Now 3 more shops, and then we have the entrance to the public bath. Public doesn't mean free; it means open to the public.
Open to the public.
But you
yeah.
needed to pay a fee. A tax.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, now we have this group. I think this group is coming in. But are you stopping? Okay, he's stopping. Yeah. So we can get inside. Look at the fancy entrance.
Oh yeah.
Marble.
It is fancy.
Okay. It was a big building. We call them
Wow.
conventionally because we have the main road. The side was called Stabiana Road. So Stabiana Road and Via dell'Abbondanza. So it's a conventional name. This is a very fancy building because this is beautifully decorated, covered in marble, and this was a place where you would come at the end of the day, at the end of the working day. So imagine, especially for men, they finish working about 4 and they had lots of visitors and business partners. They could come here and relax. What do you do in the baths, at the baths? It's like going to the wellness center. You have the gym, you have the sauna, you have the pool.
So this is relax. Yep.
To
It's
relax,
to
you have
relax.
massage. This open space that you see, gymnasium, that was the gym, the training field. So you
This-
could see athletes running,
Huh.
wrestling, playing handball, lifting weights, doing Flessione. Push up. Push up, push up. Yeah, push up.
Push
Now
up.
we have two sections. Oh, also, by the way, we also have an outdoor pool. The natation, that's for swimming, but just for the outdoor.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Inside we have different kind of pools, not for swimming, but for relaxing. We have two sections. We have women's section and men's section. We go and visit this for now. First of all, please pay attention to the pipe, and then we talk about the pipe, right? The pipe bringing drinking water, clean water from the aqueduct.
Oh, wow.
We say plumbing system in English from the word pumus. The Latin word for lead, PB, on the element table. They were made in lead. Lead is not good for you,
No,
but
it's
they
not.
didn't know.
They didn't know back
But we
then.
go back to lead later. I teach you in I like this because there's no one.
Oh,
The vestibulum,
wow.
and you can have a look at the frigidarium.
Whoa.
The frigidarium is the cold water section, the cold water pool.
Wow. Oh, I'll back up now.
The entrance with and you have the changing room.
Oh,
We have a vision nest up
we have
there.
vision.
The group, those groups are the lockers.
Lockers. Wow.
Lockers. They had to remove all their clothes, sandals, jewelry, everything, put everything in a basket, and then place in those groups. The benches,
Benches,
the waiting area.
It's like going to the gym.
It's like going to the gym.
They need a membership. That's pretty. A lot of carvings and that's pretty cool.
Stucco decoration is called stucco.
Stucco decorations.
The steam rooms.
Steam room.
So the
Okay.
first pool that we saw, that was the frigidarium, the cold water. So the cold water was something you did at the end. But the path, the roof, when you go to the wellness center, to the spa, is to go to have a hot bath and to have a steam bath.
Steam bath.
So that you can sweat, you can open your pores, you can detox, and so your immune system gets stronger. Then you need to cool down, right? So you go to a warm temperature, and then at the end you go to close the pores. Yes, you have to do gradually to avoid thermic shock, because that could be dangerous. So this is why warm, hot, and cold. Tepidarium, it's a steam room with heating temperature. The pool for warm water.
Oh,
And now I have to tell you two things. They had the plumbing system and the heating system, right? So the plumbing system you wouldn't see, of course, because it was heated inside the walls, but you wouldn't see the heating system because everything happened in secret.
Yeah.
You had a fire chamber, like a working area with slaves. It's a separate room. And you have the underfloor heating system. It's called the hyperburst. If you look down, you have the second floor.
you see, like,
now
little-
I show you this here because here we don't have the floor. We have this wooden platform, right? So you're walking on this walkway because the floor here has dropped. And because the floor is no longer there, we are able to see what was underneath.
yeah.
So pillars, all those are pillars, clay pillars, suspensure, to support the second floor.
Oh.
So that all the fire and the hot air could flow underneath. And at the side, you see, you have slabs, with gaps, so that all the heating went through all around.
That's really cool.
Not just here, there as well, right? Everything happened below the floor level, below your feet, so you wouldn't see anything. You have a communication hall between the two rooms, and you have communication hall to the fire chamber. Everything below the floor level. the top for hot water and the hypopost, the underfloor heating. The water was heated from outside and the fixture was heated from outside. But now the temperature was different here because this was much hotter. Because here we are very close to the furnaces. There we are a little bit further. And they also had another furnace outside to heat the pool. But that was not very high temperature. The temperature here was very high. It could reach up to 45 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow.
And so only a short stay.
Over 100.
If you want, we can go and have a look at the female section because it's very well preserved in terms of floor and fountains and stuff. Here you can see the system, and this is very big because men were more at the same time. They all finished at the same time. They had visitors. For women, it was a little bit different, but always something fancy. The decoration here is a male decoration, right? It's stucco, plaster. Both, the ships.
Looks like a ship.
And then you have the city walls. So it's an image of the port.
Ah.
Same opposite side.
Same over here. That's very
And
cool.
outside you have dolphins. You have weapons.
Let's go take a look. Yeah.
You have cupids riding dolphins. Cupids again.
Yeah.
It's a reference to eroticism because eroticism was a common subject.
I'm sure.
The shields and weapons.
Shield.
Symbol of power.
Yeah.
The dancer is part of Dionysus' cortege, so the crazy party, the god of wine. I'll take you outside for now, and then we go and visit the other section.
Okay.
We go straight along the same wall. You can see more of the pipes.
Oh yeah.
So lead.
Lead pipe.
But lead was widespread. Lead was very common for pipes because lead was very easy to work. It's soft, it's malleable. It needs to be bent, it needs to be shaped, and also it doesn't rust, and it keeps the pressure of the water. So there are multiple reasons why they use lead. Now we have an entrance. So please mind your head because they were shorter people.
Okay.
So this is very short. We enter here.
Yep. I'll duck.
So this is not the entrance for girls, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. Because this was a working area. We have a service entrance, the fire chamber there, right there, what you see.
Oh.
And then we have a service door. It doesn't look very well, the entrance, not like the other, because this was a service place. A service door for the keepers and the slaves, and then we get inside the changing room.
This is a changing room.
Changing room for women.
Ah. All their lockers.
The pool, the frigidarium for women, and here the floor is different in the changing room. The floor is in clay. Clay is anti-slip because women going up and down, out in and out from the pool because of water. But still decorated. You see,
Yeah, it's got a pattern to it.
beautiful diamond shape.
Yeah, they were creative.
You look at the benches. They were
Yeah.
not very tall women.
Yeah.
Because you could hit your head now, but
Oh yeah.
the roof was always vaulted. It's not flat, always vaulted for flats. There is a reason I explained you then. Now, next room is the steam room, and then we have the calidarium. The calidarium is the place for hot steam and hot water. Two different temperatures, warm and then hot. And that's very well preserved. Please look at this stoolry.
Oh wow. You could see like.
The peacock, she was
Yeah.
practicing.
The-
Two boats.
It's like it's your ancient graffiti.
It's a sailor with the anchor.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
That's pretty cool.
And those are the two entrances, 1 and 2 on the side.
Oh, the other entrance. Ah.
From this side. Now we have the steam. Please look at the gaps in the wall for the heating.
For the heating.
And the floor here is still there, is in mosaic, covered in mosaic. So imagine benches and a relaxing area.
Relaxing area.
Tepidarium. Next one is the calidarium. There is a beautiful tub in marble for approximately 8 women at a time, and the rest could sit on the steps. So sweating is good for you, it's not bad, you know?
Yep.
Because
Opens
you
the
get
pores.
stronger in your detox.
Yeah.
Now we wait until they finish. So the place is really nice, it's small, and you have the tub this side, and opposite side you have a fountain. That fountain is for cold water, because the hot water was in the tub and you needed cold water to cool off.
Yeah.
The temperature was really high in there, and then you can also see the decoration. The decoration is different, it's more delicate. You have flowers, the lotus flower, you have the water birds, and you have the cornucopia, you have the garlands. It's a typical female decoration. So sometimes we don't really know the destination of a building. We look at the decoration, and we know that this was a female place.
Yeah.
Also, we have the floor in mosaics, and we don't see, of course, the underfloor heating system, because we saw this.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of people.
Now we are ready to get in.
Ooh,
Sorry,
I'm
I
okay.
didn't warn you.
That's
yes,
okay, that's
because
okay.
they were still
That's okay.
inside.
I'm okay.
You can see also they could fill the pool and they could empty the pool.
Oh, yeah.
To change the water.
Oh yeah, they got the holes for the
Kind of
keep draining.
outside,
Oh, sorry.
relaxing. So we
Yeah.
could also come here in the morning, but for the interiors they use oil lamps. So imagine oil lamps. Now, the vaulted roof. The roof was always vaulted, was not flat, because what happens in a place where you have lots of steam? You have condensation, so you
Yeah.
have the dripping. With a flat roof, all the dripping goes on your head. With this system, it goes at the side, especially if you have those grooves.
Oh yeah.
See?
What is this for, like the water?
Yes, it's the lab room. The lab room is the fountain with cold water that you always have in a hot place. Just like today when we go to the sauna,
Yeah.
we have the cold water to freshen up.
Oh yeah.
So same thing as today. SPA is a Latin acronym. It's not a modern thing. That stands for Salus per Aquam, health through water.
Didn't know that.
And another thing is sound mind in a sound body. This is why exercising was part of the wellness center. Nothing new. Yes.
Yeah, you can see like looks like birds or something. Or
Birds, you see this.
Yeah.
The wild duck, the water birds are all water birds with lotus flower. And the cornucopia out there.
oh yeah.
So harvesting, the word of plenty, abundance.
I'll wash my head again.
Yeah. I don't tell you because I'm not tall enough, so I forget. And you know that they didn't have soap.
They didn't have soap.
Like we have today. They used olive oil and ash to rub their skin. Like a scrub.
Like a scrub, olive oil
And
and
then
ash.
they use a scraper to scrape off everything. Strigi, he knows. He knows, but he doesn't say anything. Now we can go outside, okay? We're done with the bath. Sì, siamo 5, ma ce la facciamo.
Excuse me.
Pochi, cioè oddio pochi, ci sono due gruppettini, però ci sono degli alunni, ma non so adesso. Però oggi è abbastanza quieto, dai.
Infatti, grazie.
Okay. We check on with the situation.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so the draining system along the building. This is typical. You know, in Pompeii, you have all these draining canals in line with the sloped roof. This is a recreational roof, so rainwater was essential. It was never wasted. You wanted to collect rainwater down in a
So
tank.
it goes to drain. Here, okay.
Always have draining, and down underneath you have a tank. And you have a cisterna here.
Some of it have holes down there too.
Yes, it's plugged. Yeah,
It's
it's
plugged.
plugged. It's plugged. But imagine that here, in each bit, you have wells.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You have the wells for checking and for catching water. So draining, drain, a tank.
Oh yeah, that looks deep.
Deep, they're deep. The more, the bigger the building is, the bigger the tank is. So you
Yeah.
could collect more water. And this water, of course, was not for drinking, but was for other use. You need it for cleanings, you need it for watering plants, for animals. But, for drinking water, we have the wells, we have the fountains.
The fountain.
But before the fountains were built, so before the aqueduct, you had to collect water from the mountains. So you had to buy drinking water, or you have to look for a well. But this was really difficult to dig a well. You had to go 20 meters below. And we only have evidence of a few wells only. So just like today we buy bottled water, you did this back then. You bought amphoras with drinking water.
Wow.
The water guy is coming, the waterman.
The waterman.
When my dad was little, he remembered about the snow woman. The snow woman was not the snow woman. The snow woman was a woman who sold the ice, snow, because in the 50s, many people didn't have the refrigerator. So in the winter it was okay because you put everything outside, northwards.
It stays cold.
But in the summer you needed snow and ice. And you could buy ice, or you could, you had even people that they had in very ancient time, they had snow from the mountain. But I'm sure she saw the ice, not snow. But she was called the nevaiola, so the snow. Maculata nevaiola.
Neve.
Neve. Did they sell snow? She saw the ice.
So that-
But in ancient times they saw the snow from the mountains, and in the frigidarium, in summer, sometimes they had to put snow to keep the water cool. But the water was kept cold with insulation, because you have double walls. And double walls is not for heating there, that was for insulation.
Insulation.
Now we go outside, we squeeze outside.
Știi cum arată în cafenea asta? Unde ne întreabă gladiatorii, știi? Știi cum arată? Da, așa, așa, stă în pie ăștia, știi?
Outside, and when we turn left.
Okay.
He was a great guy. He was a character. He worked with the astronauts. I just remember.
Still on the main Decumanus, the main road, and here it becomes wider.
Oh yeah, it is wider.
It's wider because it's a traffic limited area.
Uh-huh.
We are at the main intersection, so we are crossing the other main road, so south, north, west, east. But we have roadblocks here ahead.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this bit of the intersection is not for cars, it's only for people. Because we also have the entrance to the baths. We have fancy houses, fancy shops. Probably they sold something related to the baths, probably perfumes, or like in Capri, you perfume shops, towels, linen, these things. Oh, let's cross the intersection.
Okay.
We can decide to cross on the stepping stones.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You could do this cross on the stepping stones.
Maybe we can do.
Do like they did. You okay?
Ragazzi, qua siete atletici, possiamo attraversare qui.
Oh, okay.
You can have a shot of this
Oh yeah.
intersection, you see? Another fountain. So there was a fountain in each neighborhood. You didn't need to walk more than 80 meters, 250 feet, to reach the nearest fountain.
Oh, okay.
They were smart.
Does it have a face?
Oh, I don't see a face on this one. Maybe on. No, I don't. Just a hole.
I want to take you to see a house inside.
Yeah.
And we walked this street. This was the main road.
The store.
It's a store. Which kind of store? If you peek inside, if you look downwards, there is something. It looks like a pizza oven.
Looks like an oven. Yeah, they bake.
The bakery. This was a bakery. Ciao.
Yeah.
Ciao. We had at least 32 bakeries in Pompeii. Bakeries was having a bakery was very profitable because bread was expensive, not very cheap, and you needed many people to work in your bakery. You needed to grind the flour, then to knead, raise, and cook. And there was lots of requests about bread, basic food.
Yeah.
The cost of a loaf of bread was about 2 copper coins. So 2 copper coins is the equivalent of half sestertius, so €3 more or less.
3 euro.
Oh my
One
gosh.
sestertius is the equivalent of €6, according to some scholars. So some other scholars say it worth like €2. But anyway, €1 to €3 for a loaf of bread.
That's expensive.
That was really, yes, it was not cheap.
Yeah.
Another shop and house together. You see the square holes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, first, second floor.
Yeah, that's what. Yep. Supported a floor.
Bricks, especially at the corners, because bricks are stronger, so they reinforce.
Yeah.
But of course, you wouldn't see all this brickwork because I didn't tell you. The old city was completely plastered, covered in plaster, not just inside, but also outside.
Ah.
Colorful.
White,
Yes,
or?
so you would never white or red. Normally. Or
Pick your color.
yellow sometimes, but red and white. White is lime, it's like chalk, lime. And red would be mineral. Okay.
This was not just.
Now what we do at the end of this, at the main intersection, we turn right.
Okay.
Here you have another typical thermopolium or caucona. There's another food shop.
Another food shop.
These are very common because another reason is that many people didn't have a kitchen. I was showing another street food restaurant.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have many because another reason was that many people didn't have a kitchen. They lived in their shop, on top of their shops, or at the back of the shops.
Yeah.
So he was okay because he had the kitchen. But many other shops, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
I'll take you down a hall now. Oh, sorry. I have an idea. We do this first. Yeah, because I saw the group, so we do this first. We go and have a look at this, and I show you a viewpoint. Sorry for this digression, but I think it's wiser to stop for it. This is a beautiful example, right? You can see the jars, dolia, inside the counter. The counter is nice and marble. The cooking place there in the corner, they cook like on the barbecue with charcoal. And this is a very strategic point, you know, on the main road, but looking down that street, left and right.
It's like a corner.
Oh, so they can see them.
Yes, it's a corner
Oh
shop.
wow, yeah.
Corner
that's
shop.
It's a very good location.
Let me show you
For
the
business.
the plaster cast of the wooden door for the shop. Here. They made also the plaster cast of all organic material, not just the bodies, but also wood, because wood left the gap in the ash.
Oh yeah.
The panels, now this is plaster, but originally this was wood. and this was the shape.
That's what it looked like.
And this is the, so we know that this was a shop. And then we have another shop there, you see. The borderline shop. And there is a retaining wall. We can go through. There is a wall. Why do we have this wall? It's a retaining wall to hold back the ash, because this place is not excavated. We can't go through because this is buried, but we can go up there and we can walk on top of the ash and we can see Pompeii from top. And this is a nice thing because we can realize the height of Pompeii before the excavation. We all agree that this is the entrance of a house, right?
Yeah, it
the
looks like it.
hallway. No, rather than going in the house, we go on top of the house. We also have some bathroom. I hope they work. I don't know, but if okay. Bay, rosemary. Maybe a few minutes break, yeah? So
Okay.
you can have a
Yeah.
look at the... You can sit down here on these benches. This clay bench is better than that, but this is not very safe.
Oh,
That's the forum in the basilica.
yeah. You want to take pictures?
Now what happened? That they built this building in the 1800s. And we suppose this was the house of the archaeologists. So the place for them to stay, to study, rather than going back and forth. Because this is a very big place and very dusty when you excavate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for this reason, this building stays here, and they don't do the excavations here. So this part of Pompeii is still there. They are currently working there. You can see there is a light and there is a crane somewhere. So that way, northwards, they are doing the excavations. They are doing some official, university excavations, and they found shops, houses with beautiful paintings, and they also found people. Especially one guy, and he was running away holding a bag full of money near the gate, near the north. Typical thing. They found, for example, the shop owners in the middle of the shop holding the bag with the cash of the week or the day. The last ones to quit. Slaves, shop owners, business people. They found. And another thing, they found horses near the gates. So the horse was more like an expensive item, more for the outside than the inside. Inside you could use mules and donkeys. By the way, the bakery, in the bakeries we found many skeletons of donkeys and mules. It was like a domestic appliance, You needed the strength of a donkey to help you spinning the wheat wheel, the mill.
Also,
I have a picture of the job in the bakery. You see, you have the
so
oven.
these have the donkeys to go around in circles.
Yes, and you have the mills. So they needed those animals for many purposes. So into town.
Oven.
Yes,
There's an oven in
the
the back.
baking oven is really like a pizza oven.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like the one we saw before, yes, in bricks and lava stones, so that gets very hot. And the inside is a dome made with bricks. So just like today, the same technique.
Yeah.
So, and now next stop will be a house down there.
Okay.
You want to stop for a few minutes for a little?
Sì, sento.
We call it domus, the fancy, wealthy house. And we have, of course, many wealthy people here. And you could tell this from the size of the house, from the decoration inside, from the number of rooms, from the mosaics, from the marble, from the material. You can tell lots of things. And here we have a nice neighborhood. We have a few wealthy homes close to each other. All volcanic material. This is a catalog of the material. You have this spongy one with bubbles, basalt, limestone, and tufa. This is tufa. This kind of yellow. Bricks, basalt, lava. Yes,
Yeah.
all local material. Because of course, from previous eruptions, the volcano had been erupting other times before 79. But these people, in the first century, they had lost memory of the previous eruption. If you look at this house from the picture, we want to visit this one, and we hope that this is open today.
Oh. Sometimes they have it closed to the public.
Sometimes, if there is a problem for safety reason, something something in danger, they have to close. But it seems like everything is regular. And the house is down there on the right. I think we have to line up a little bit. Now we are allowed to take pictures, but with no flash because the paintings inside are very delicate.
That's okay. We won't use
They
it.
are fresco paintings, and they tend to fade out easily. And we have to be careful not to hit against the walls.
Okay.
And we can get in, yeah? I ask if we can get in because they allow us in groups.
Okay.
The entrance, look at the beautiful entrance, the capitals. The benches outside
Oh, they got benches out.
for the supporters.
Yeah, they got a group.
I think we need a little bit so it will be easier, yeah?
Okay.
So the vestibulum, if you can see already from here, you have the vestibulum, which is the entrance, the narrow corridor, the atrium, the office, and at the back you have the garden. So we let them out and I just go first and I give you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sì, sì. Grazie. Grazie. Sì. In the Roman houses, you had to walk all around, right? Because now what we do a one-way route. We walk all around near the garden and we come back.
Okay.
In this bit, you see the atrium. This big square room here is the atrium. The atrium is it's a square room. Is the main part of the house. Is the greeting area, and you normally have a table there to greet people.
Oh yeah. Look at this.
Sorry for this digression. The steps to go upstairs.
Oh yeah.
The rooms all around. Now, the rooms normally have no windows because you have a skylight
Oh
open
yeah.
in line with the pool below. Compluvium impluvium. The impluvium is the water catching system. You catch the rainwater down in a tank. Remember always the draining system? Bedroom, mama bedroom, daddy.
You can go in there.
You see the flowers?
Yeah. It's pretty dark. Yeah.
There's like in wealthy homes they prefer the two separate. Wealthy people do.
See like some type of art on here. Some type of art drawing on here. Yeah.
Theater masks. They're not beheaded people. Just look at this beautiful. They have recreated the room. Now we have, in line with the entrance, we have the office.
See some decoration over here too.
Decoration, you have plants, lions, the dolphins. That's a bamboo cane.
Huh.
It looks like homes, but...
It does look like home.
So now you have this typical technique called the trompe l'oeil, the trick the eye thing. It's like they had knowledge of how to paint the third dimension, how to paint the perspective, yeah, the depth, because they knew the rules about this. You got to know the rules. Otherwise, everything goes flat, right? Everything is flat. But this knowledge was lost in the Middle Age, so we had to wait the Renaissance, right? They had lots of knowledge.
Yeah.
The tablino, this is the office for the owner, right? So 2 doors, one here and the other one there. And now we can have a look here at the garden and then we come back. This was the typical set of a garden. You have like a maze.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Local bushes, so the myrtle, the white rose, bless you, it's the dust in the, in the ruins. And normally they had fountains, they had statues, decoration all around, you know, you have the decoration like fake garden. And you have to walk all around. And all around you have lots of more bedrooms, bedrooms and room for entertainment. We see a couple now. We can see one here is the living room. Look at this beautiful living room.
Oh, look at the floor, too.
Look at the floor. And look at
original?
It's original floor in mosaic. Look at the Greek cross and flowers. You have the hinges for the door because each room was provided with a door. Then you have a window there.
There's a window there.
So that was probably a source of light. And the background is green. So we call this the green salon. You have pictures on the wall, you have the centaurs. And this was a living room.
Living room.
And now we'll take you to the opposite side.
Okay.
The dining room.
Well, that's a big room.
So a living room, sitting room, and a dining room. It's quite big. It's got a door here and another door for service, for the corridor, right? So facing the garden, so very cool in the summer. Yeah. And very nice in winter. So we have a separation winter and summer part of the house.
Yeah, the doors are very small.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Because they're short.
The room is very big because they had a reason. The dining room needed not tables and chairs, but beds. Like they had beds all around, white beds, reclined beds, reclined chairs. They ate lying down.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yes, like
Like-
those, like the grapes and banqueting. So this is why. And they needed space in the middle for service, for entertainment, music, you know. And now we use this door and we go in the corridor. The corridor is painted in black. Black was very posh, very elegant. And that was made with the burnt ivory, very expensive pigment.
Looks like animal, like a bird here.
Now, we used the corridor because imagine that the office was closed for privacy, so the rest of the family had to go through the corridor. And now we stop a little bit here, near this small dining room. It's a dining room for the winter, it's very small, but enough to seat 9 people. 3 beds, 3 clinium, 3 each side. Kenneth, you come and sit. 3 each side. So, and the paintings you see is the Trojan War. They're about the Trojan War. Very common subject of decoration. There you see the Trojan horse.
Trojan horse.
You see the Trojan horse and the walls.
Yep.
That was a trick.
Yeah.
The Greek wanted to trick the Trojan with a gift on the beach.
Yep.
They went to open the gates, and then all the soldiers got in.
The soldiers come in.
But that was the end of Troy. So this is the last final, the final scenes. Those
They got
2
paintings
women.
over there.
Yes. Cassandra on the left. Helena on the left and Cassandra on the right. They've been attacked by the husband. One from the husband, the other one from Achilles. And Priamus is in the middle. The father, he couldn't do anything anymore. Opposite side, if you come here from this side, strangled by serpents sent by Athena, but she was from the Greek part, along with his kids. So Cassandra and Lycaon, they predicted the end of Troy, and they warned their citizens, but they wouldn't listen. The colors you see are all natural colors. So we call this kind of painting fresco painting. You paint on the wet plaster.
So fresh paint.
The kitchen, that's not a chair, that's a fornellum, it's a cooking place. It's a cooker. And here, look at this nice decoration. You have the wild ducks and the bird is
Looks like a
picking
bird.
cherries.
Oh, yeah.
Eating cherries.
There, those two heads there, the two theater masks.
Masks.
Here you have the doorkeeper room, and opposite side, that temple that you see there, I think we can go back there for a little more.
Okay.
This temple, it's the family shrine. It's called Lararium because they also worship the spirit of the ancestors. They believe that they would protect the household. We had a fire here, the statues of the Lares, the ancestors, the spirit of the ancestors, the portraits of the ancestors, and the fire. The fire was the symbol of the family, so you had to be careful not to let the fire go,
Yeah.
go
It
away.
would always, it would always be there.
Yes, someone to take care of the family shrine, offering prayers, perfumes, and stuff. It's a beautiful example of a lararium.
So this is a very wealthy.
Yeah, this was a very wealthy family. They had a second floor for the upper room, you see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had
And
a,
the owner of this house was related to Nero's second wife.
to a second floor.
So, Pompeo, Secundus Pompeo. Secundus Pompeius was from Pompei. He was a wealthy family from Pompei. And Poppaea Sabina, second wife of Nero, she was from this family. She was from Pompei. Egypt, another thing, Egypt. We have Egyptian landscapes here. If you look up there, you have a crocodile. You have
I see it, yeah.
Nilus with the temples, right? And you have the crocodile, the one with the tail.
Yeah.
So why do we have Egypt here? Egypt was in fashion because they conquered Egypt. 30 BC, before Christ, Ottaviano Augusto, he conquered Egypt. He defeated the last queen. What was her name? The last queen of Egypt. Remember the beautiful queen? Cleopatra. It's
Cleopatra,
okay.
yeah.
She's dead now. She's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
She killed herself
Yeah.
with snakes. So Cleopatra was the last queen, and then Egypt was part of the Roman Empire. Egypt was the new granary of the Roman Empire because now there were many, and they needed lots of wheat, and they needed lots of food. And the valley of Nile, the river Nile, had a very fertile valley, and they had lots of gold, and they also brought lots of slaves from Egypt. So, and I think we can go outside.
Okay.
Yeah?
They're nice. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like,
Yeah. It's
people,
amazing.
like, families living there?
It's going back in time.
Yeah.
1 minute, because we keep on talking about elections. Oh, elections again. We don't like, but we know that just before the eruption, we had an election campaign. We can tell because we found lots of election advertisement, like the yard sign. You see that you see this was a typical yard sign. Vote for Cornelius. So Cornelium is an inscription made on purpose. It's not vandalism.
Oh, okay.
So Cornelius was a candidate. We say candidate from the white toga called the candida.
Oh, okay.
And that was a sign of that you were a candidate. You were running for an office, and that was a sign of honesty. You know, you can trust me and all these things.
We'll make Pompei great again. Okay. Just kidding. I know.
I missed the gag. I missed the gag. I missed the line. I want to hear. What did you say?
I said make Pompei great again.
Yes. So life here stopped, 79, and this was a big loss for the Roman, for Rome, right? Very important port in business town. So when we go, we need to go there, but we can go through this.
You can't go through there. Okay.
So we have to go around.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you mind if I just check the timetable?
Sure,
the
yeah.
timetable
Yeah.
I just wanted to adjust the tour because we need to see other things.
Okay.
Yeah, we're perfectly in time. Yeah,
Okay.
Ron. We are perfectly. So I can show you the best. Yeah, this work in progress has slow, it makes everything slower.
Yeah.
Because we have to go around.
Go around.
Otherwise, it was very handy. Because now the part of Pompeii we want to see is the entertainment area. We want to see the theater.
Yeah. This
And
is
then we
great.
have the gladiators training school. Now the amphitheater, unfortunately we don't see the amphitheater together today because this is opposite side of the town. If you wish to stay here longer, you have the ticket,
Oh, yeah.
the duration is all day, and you can stay longer, you can see more. But this is up to you.
Okay.
Or if you just want to finish the tour, we can go outside together. That's just up to you. So now, the amphitheater is the typical oval building. But with this tour, we saw a little bit of everything. So, if you saw the Colosseum, maybe you do have an idea.
Oh yeah, we've been
It's
inside the
kind of-
Colosseum. Yeah.
So, because that's quite a long way.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and you want to go down to the Colosseum, the arena, then you have to go back. By the way, arena is another synonym for the amphitheater. Arena from the word arena, sand. The sand covering the bottom of the amphitheater for a practical reason, not very nice, to soak up blood
Oh gosh.
because of course the sand is practical.
Oh okay.
Sand. We can walk this way now because we did that sidewalk. We can do this one now. So we do something different. Look at that picture. A siesta during the excavations of 1900.
1900s, wow.
10, 13, those were the years.
Wow.
The workers resting.
That is amazing.
Shops. And here we have another typical thing of Pompeii. Along the curb, I don't know if you noticed that along the curb you have these holes, these
Yeah.
sort of crypts, all the way through,
Yeah.
right? It's like you could tie up something here, but what? They're ahead in front of the shops, especially. So the main purpose for those was shading.
For shade.
For shading, for awning. Yeah. So
Awning,
ropes or sticks to hold pen.
Oh, okay,
To provide
okay.
some shade outside the shops
That's-
or
yeah.
outside the houses, especially food shops. If people had to stand outside and finish their lunch, you have to return to the container. They had no disposable container. Or you could bring your own container, the lunch box, right? They scoop it out, the soup from those big jars, remember? And then you could bring your lunch. But otherwise you could eat outside. But you needed some shade. Or for the rain, right? Now this guy, sidewalk again. You have a property line. But in this case, this guy was so rich that he has two sidewalks. One for everyone and the other one for himself. You can go up there if you want and look inside.
Oh yeah. Let's go take a look.
I just use the regular side. This was the private, right? Just for him.
Wow.
The house. Oh wow.
Look at all the columns too. Watch for the water. We come this way.
I show you. We know that he has a plumbing system and drinking water. You see the pipe there in the corner?
Oh yeah, yeah, right here.
So he's got, the safe
piping.
water. Running water in private house.
No, cosa voi state
Alors, ici, je vous dis que nous sommes dans le de la capitale. Dans la droite, un autre nostro McDonald's o McDo, come tu preferisci.
Another.
Oh yeah.
Another of those typical restaurants for
Yeah.
takeout. Good. We can cross now these stepping stones and we go downwards. We go south.
Okay. Oh. Careful. Excuse me.
Je vais toute seule. Alors, une fontaine.
Opposite corner of the intersection, we have again a food shop. And look at the stepping stones. We have 4. So there was like a switching place for the double way traffic. Okay, so 2 cars, 2 lanes, and 2, you see the grooves in the gaps? The wheel grooves.
The wheel grooves. Okay, the wheels fit in between.
To help the wheels to go through. Double way traffic, and they drove on the left.
Oh, they drove
like
on the left.
in England.
Oh yeah.
Everything changed here with Napoleon.
Napoleon.
Napoleon, yes. And now we're going downwards. You can see the south gate. You see down there we have a gate in line with the main road. It's called the Stabia Gate because the nearest town was Stabia and the Sorrento Peninsula. Now, going down, the south part of Pompeii was the shows area, not the amphitheater. The amphitheater is east. Here south we have the 2 theaters, one for music and one for comedies. Now we try to visit at least one. We give at least one choice to visit. And look at the groups again, you see?
Oh yeah. You can see
If
them.
you measured everywhere in Pompeii the distance between the 2 groups, right? You would always get the same distance. The same distance, so not more than 45 inches. Well, more or less 45 inches. So that's the proof that we have standard carts with standard wheels, with a standard shape, because you needed to help. To go
Yeah,
through.
they had to build
And
them
those
exactly
were
the same.
made on purpose.
Yeah. It's the exact size.
Like the train.
Yeah.
This is safer. I recommend the sidewalk, even if we have a dog, but I think he's okay. Okay, look. No, he's okay. He's one of our stray dogs, but they're more bored than other. All them bored.
And you could even burn your house. For this reason, a lot of people were eating as well, like a street food.
See, we are going down. This will be 20 meters on a sea level, and up on top of the road is 42 meters on a sea level. So there is a big slope. Imagine with the rain,
Oh
with the
gosh.
flood.
It's gonna be going down.
Flooded.
It gets
and
flooded.
this place was closed to traffic. No shows. Wash out, we say. You say wash out.
That was the parking area. The parking now.
We'll see more stepping stones now that we go.
Let me get ahead of you. Can.
Okay. We have this corridor. This corridor is the connection from, between the main road, you see a snack point,
Yeah.
the gate, people coming from the other villages to see the show, and then they stop the carts outside, they just walk inside, and they go to the theater. And now we
theater's
can
up here.
do this corridor together. Are you tired? We have steps. We have seats, so now you can see, okay? He's tired. The bathroom is okay. I'll take you. It's very close. We go and see the gladiators' barrack first,
Okay.
and then we go back to the
Okay.
The boat.
Oh, boats. What is here?
These are two gladiators. You see, the helmets, the spears, the feet, the long shields. You know, they're facing each other.
Ah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, really sorry. Mind the water.
Oh, okay.
We are in line with the entrances. Entrances, plural entrances.
Oh, there's okay.
We have more than one.
More than
for
one
a
entrance.
reason. Go first. Let this group go first and then. Okay, now. Three entrances. Separation in social classes. So, 1, 2, and 3. Box seats. After the box seats.
Ah,
In
okay.
the middle, you have a wide entrance for the rich class, and on the right, the middle class. I take you there. We
Okay.
use this entrance. Pardon? Sorry? Okay. Yes, traffic light.
Traffic
Five
light.
of us. Traffic light. Step inside, and this is the entrance for middle class, okay? And now we go to the middle class section. Oh, sorry, we said.
Oh wow, this is like. Oh my
Now,
gosh. I know.
Comedies. It says 5,000 people,
Oh yeah.
and you see the typical shape is a conical shape, like a megaphone shape. The reason why we have this shape is acoustic, not just to seat people all around there on top. The acoustic is very good here. It was very good. Now it's due to two things. The shape, like a megaphone, you spread the sound upwards. You amplify the sound with the shape.
Yeah.
And another thing is marble. Now keep in mind that we had marble everywhere here. Now we are missing marble because marble was, let's say, taken because this is very expensive. And now this has been recreated with tufa stone. Now imagine everything was covered in marble. Everything was marble, and marble is a hard material so that the sound bounces back. This is why you could hear up there very well. You didn't need to shout. So the performers were down, and they didn't need to shout because they could be heard. Very clear. And they had to wear a mask because actors had to wear a mask. That was like makeup to give the identity. Happy, sad, scary. And now let me just show you some of the seats, the ancient seats. We go to see the marble part.
Oh yeah.
You can do this quick passage, right? So we have still some numbered seats. You see, do you remember the Roman numerals? Yeah. So you
Oh, they
can
had
see
number seats.
They are carved on the marble. 15, 14.
Let me see.
15.
Oh, they had numbered seats.
Oh.
Wow. With Roman numerals. That's pretty cool.
And that was everywhere. Yeah. So each row has numbers. But now we don't have marble anymore, so we only have a few evidence, small evidence, right? So you have three sections here, actually four. You have the box seats, right and left. You see those two balconies for the sponsors, or DVIP, the guests of honor. And then you have the 4 rows at the front for the rich. The middle class is the media cavea, so all this bit all the way up, and then at the very top, but we only have that part reserved, that's for the low classes. And they had standing or
Standing up
sitting,
there.
they had a completely different entrance from the top. You see those people now, that's the entrance for middle class again. And from the very top you have the low classes. So they wouldn't even meet at the entrance. Separation.
Separation.
And so now here you had to squeeze together. You see that the seats are very narrow. The distance between each number, you have a vertical line that you can see later. It's your space. That's your space.
Did you
So-
have to pay?
You had to pay here. To come here to see the show, you needed to pay the ticket. And they had sort of tokens, right? Like ivory, tessere illusorie, they're called, with the number of your seat and the
Oh,
name of
that's
the
very
comedy. But for the
Very-
gladiators, the show was free.
First.
That was offered. Here you have, of course, sponsored, who paid for the theater. For example, this inscription over here. It's description about two brothers, the Holconi, from the Holconi family, a very powerful family here in Pompeii, and they paid with their own money the theater, actually the refurbishment of the theater. So they pay for the marble, they paid.
Ah,
And
it's just got their names right on
They
it.
had now
take a
memory
look.
inscription. It's in Latin with lots of abbreviation. Marcus Holconi. So in other words, the inscription is like a CV. The inscription is like it tells all the accomplishment. It tells the reason why you have the inscription, and this was made here as a reserved seat.
Ah,
You see those holes? Yeah, those,
Yeah.
They're not holes. These are traces of lead, bronze, because they had those bronze biselia, two wide chairs. It's a two reserved seats for these two brothers, and that's the best view. You see?
oh yeah.
You're in line with
The center view. Yeah.
Now, chairs, cushions,
Cushions.
white chairs. White chairs on those rows. This is why the entrance for the rich are white, because they were carried
Ah,
with their own chairs. And they had like a probably canopy, because this theater was open. But they had also a tent all around. Do you see up there?
Yeah.
Those poles?
yeah.
They were there to support the canopy all around, and you needed special people to handle this canopy, sailors,
Sailors.
because they were long bits of tents, you know, with the wind, you know, a little bit difficult to
Difficult, yeah.
handle, so you needed skilled people. And this was the big theater for comedies. Pompeii has another small theater, and that has the same shape, but that was for music. And then we have, after this, we have the foyer. The foyer was the area to stop, you know, where they stopped during the intermissions. And now we go and see this.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
If you want to take, you did already that you took take pictures.
Oh yeah, we'll
yeah.
take some more pictures later
Okay.
later on too.
If you want me to take like a group picture
Yeah, yeah.
in the theater, I can do it.
We can just do a group picture. Yeah.
Even if you want to do just a little bit, you
Oh.
go climb a little bit and then you come down. You see the box seat.
Oh yeah.
Just be careful. Yeah.
Oh okay. This is for the rich. They got this is their best seats. Where they keep the announcers. Okay, let's come back.
I need to get some pictures when my phone charges.
Okay.
It could be slippery, little by
Yeah.
little. So this is
careful,
spectacular.
okay?
You got the same opposite side. You see again, you have the middle class.
Oh, the middle
entrance
class.
Again. So two different entrances, left and right, three different social class. Now we can go straight. Keep the right.
Right.
Testa. Ja, es ist Theater.
Here we have another view, the stage. Now they have set up the stage again because we still have shows here.
Oh really? They still do.
We still have shows in the summer. We have
Oh,
classic
nice.
Greek theater.
That's
This
that's
is why
nice.
they have fixed all the seats with
Ah.
stone. They're numbered. So
Okay, so they still do shows.
Yes.
That's great.
and here the backstage here
Yep.
was the place for actors. The stage was the recreation of a famous like a city, right? To set the story. For example, this was the the set, right?
Yeah.
Imagine a town. Oh, sorry, I'm on the way. Imagine the town. So it was a comedy or a story. The same comedies as today, same plot.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Something funny to laugh about, like. And they were translated from Greek to Latin normally.
Yeah.
Now, being an actor was not really cool.
It wasn't
as
cool.
is today. No Hall of Fame.
They get things
They
thrown
were-
at them.
Yeah, they were slaves. Yeah,
Slaves.
actors, performers. So it was considered shameful. Also, gladiators were slaves.
They make fun of them probably.
Yes, and they had to entertain people, to please people. But gladiators, people really like gladiators.
What's the water?
I'll take you here because now we have the last building. And this is very crowded. You know why? Because this is the opposite route. We had to, we didn't do this, but normally this is the regular route that we do. We did a different one today.
Okay.
We did through the Marina Gate, and I prefer that because that's beautiful. Here, the bathrooms were here.
All the bathrooms were over here.
Yes, I had to avoid all this big. Yeah, this is why I prefer doing this.
Yeah.
It's a big line.
Yeah.
Yours, as usual.
As usual.
No toilet paper, no soap.
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Some of the commonplace you find everywhere. Long one. Okay, now this building was built as a foyer. The foyer is the place where all the spectators stopped during the intermissions because shows were long, right? But what happens? This building could be 2 stories. We have the original steps to go upstairs. It's a square building, a quadriporticus. So it has an empty space in the middle, like a field in the middle. And all around it's got the colonnade, the column porch. See, it's made like that. So imagine that this was running all along. From a foyer, this was transformed in another building. It was transformed in a gladiator's barrack, in a gladiator's training school.
Training school,
So this was the training area, and all these rooms that you see are the accommodations for the gladiators. They are very short doors. This is the recreation of the doors. They were my size. They were not giants. So you can take a picture with the door. And you see that they were not 5 feet 2 inches.
Oh, you can see that.
Now they have
Bathroom.
bathrooms.
They have bathrooms in there
Actually,
now.
these were all the cells.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fancy
They didn't have the bathrooms like that.
Another one. Not this one.
Pretty fast.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, it's pretty dark in there.
So gladiators were prisoners, they were slaves, right? So they were kept in these rooms, cells, right? And we found skeletons of gladiators here in this place and the armors. This is why we know that they were fighters, they were gladiators.
Yeah.
And now the business school, the training school was a business.
Yeah.
And you had the owner who was a businessman.
Yeah.
So lots of money. Because the show was paid by the sponsors. And of course, betting,
Big gamble.
betting,
Yeah,
you know. Another one here. We have storages now because we have so many things, so we don't know where to put it. And look at this beautiful.
Yeah. It's a beautiful view.
Gladiator. You have the theater and you have the volcano. Look how beautiful.
We should get a picture.
Yes, it's a little bit against the light, right? Because you only see the silhouette. But I can take your picture.
could try.
Anyway. Well, the show was a big show with a fake battle, 2 armies facing each other. Say the Romans versus the Samnites, right? But then they had to fight for real and die for real.
Yeah.
Not all the time. You could decide to spare. The crowd the crowd, the audience was in charge inside. Because
Oh,
you had,
gosh.
the audience was the target of the show. The sponsor made all this to please the crowd and to gain their consent, their favor and their votes. This is why you wanted them to enjoy the show. If they really enjoyed the show, they shouted "Mite," cheering, and that was a good sign. The wounded gladiator wouldn't die. You know, he survived. But if you didn't like the show or you didn't just like the way he fought, you could shout "Jugula." Jugula with the thumb like this, that means jugular vein.
Oh gosh.
So it was a cruel show, but people were really praising
That's their entertainment back then.
It's like more like a trash show today, but people like because they like to see other people fighting, arguing, and shouting and telling bad words. So, and this is the end of the tour for us,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
We finished with this building.
Oh, yes.
And I hope they didn't get tired and they enjoyed everything.
Oh, no.
Thank you very much for coming. If you want to stay inside, you can just go back. You have the map and I can show you how to see. Or if you want to finish the tour, you can go outside here, you walk and then you have the entrance to the way to the train station. Just in case, let's say you want to go and see the Vesuvius or you want to do something else.
Okay.
I can show you how.
Yeah. Because we don't really know what to do.
We're having our lunch in Pompeii. Sandwich, chips. Look at this background. You like it?
Yeah.
Huh? Hmm? Okay, we're walking through Pompeii. Look at it's got green on it. Green color. Yeah, I'm taking a video. Hello, lizard.
Drop stone on it.
No? Look at it. Where are you going? Oops. This looks just like a foot inside this column. Is it? It looked like a foot. Like a left foot.
Mr. Lizard.
That sign is close to the theater, right over here. This is Vesuvius behind us, where it erupted and it destroyed 7980.
Yeah.
Destroyed Pompeii. Covered it in ash, killed a lot of people.
13,000.
13,000. So right there behind us, with Kyle like underneath, being a clown. Here's Pompeii's little comedy club behind me.
Hey, watch this.
Where were the...
See all the different seats here.
Let me get a picture.
Yeah, let's get a picture. Look, they even got the seat numbers. So, look at the Roman numerals right here. See, they got seat numbers. Is that 12? 13? Where's this? 14? 15? That's pretty cool. Actually, so that way people know where they sit. Oh, here's I missed that. There's 11 right here. It's 11. You see the stage behind us. Back here. There's the stage. People can really have shows. They even have shows now. Sometimes they do plays. Trying to walk. Oh, they got what they call a store. Looks like the marble shapes. That's what they call in the store in Pompeii time. Back then. Because walking behind me. It's Kyle.
Hello.
Over here is a family that got killed during the eruption in Pompeii. You can see behind me over here. It looks like they were sleeping at the time. They're all like, I don't know if they were like laying down sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Because it was a family. Oh, no.
It's a family.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they were taking a nap.
Yeah, they're taking the nap, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Look at this person is up. This person is sitting up. And then Looks like a child, maybe a teen or something. They're laying together. There's two here. This one is partially up.
I need it around on this side.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look at that.
There's the amphitheater right behind me over here. You can see. We're gonna go inside. You can see everything behind me. I hear music back there. Maybe they're playing music. I think you could go inside. Inside. See what's inside. I can hear music. See over here. What does this say? Oh, it's right over there. I don't know what it is.
It says
It's Fortnite.
What is in Latin? See what they got over here. And I guess looks like Pink Floyd's gonna be playing here. What's they got in here? They got a bunch of pictures. Stairs. They got some other art over here. What was that? I guess they don't really care about language too much over there. We got like so different bands played over here, yeah. Come on. See what else is over here. Okay, we're going inside. This is bigger, but it seems like I don't know if they still need to uncover like seats. Look at all this. So they do music here.
You should take a picture and send it to her.
Oh yeah, we can. Look at all this. It's pretty big.
Mama, can you unfold this?
It's all around.
Here. I'm throwing this in.
This one you can see the skull and the head.
You can see the face on it.
And then it looks like those two are together. You see the skull a little bit. This one you can see the skull. At the end of our Pompeii tour, we're going to go head to Naples and then try some pizza.